All right. Can everybody hear me up in this piece? Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? All right, cucks. It looks like you probably can hear me up in this mug. Let me know. Okay, good. Perfect. Up in this bitch. I didn't know there was like a 1 minute lag. You know what I'm saying? The hater clicked the thing a minute ago, and here we are. All right. Yeah, it's hard out here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, cut me some slack. You know what I mean? This is the hater's first of hopefully many streams, cuckolds. Now, with that being said, let's get to reviewing this show. I was incredibly bored. I'm monetized on okay, I can't be reading your guys' like comments right now, all right? Let's do it. The hater is in the place. All right. The show starts out as it typically does. It starts out with good old a big promo, right? This time it's Randy Orton. He comes out and acknowledges that he's been gone for a while. Now, the problem with this is that while he's been gone for a while, he really hasn't been on Raw like he said he was. He went on Raw for like 2 weeks, got his ass beat, and now he's here. You know what I'm saying? So what does that even mean? Like, he's here, but he wasn't, but he was, but he wasn't. Anyways, he's back, and now his gimmick, his thing, his shtick, basically, is that he's here and he's angry at Cody Rhodes, but like passive-aggressively. Just like Kevin Owens, you know what I mean? Just like Kevin Owens, no different than him up in this mug, right? There's nothing there that really needed to be done. But the problem was, in my opinion at least, that Cody Rhodes was obviously going to come out because he called him out. And it's like we just saw this last week with Kevin Owens, right? Now, another thing that I didn't like about this, and there were many things I didn't like about this, is Cody Rhodes immediately takes the inferior position, right? Randy Orton is like, come out and explain yourself. So Cody comes out and explains himself. Now, I thought to myself, imagine if we had like, I don't know, Stone Cold, right? Coming out, he was going to have a tag match with The Rock or something, right? And with all that being said, it's like let's say he said, hey, explain to me why you did this. Like, either Stone Cold or The Rock or Triple H would be like, I don't have to explain anything to you. You know what I mean? I'm a star, basically, right? Cody Rhodes instead comes out and explains himself. The explanation is horrible. His explanation is, I need to team with Roman Reigns so we can end the bloodline. And Randy Orton just accepts it. He's like, oh, okay, sounds good. And then Cody's like, is that going to be a problem? And Orton says, no, it's not going to be a problem unless you make it one. So in other words, nothing happened, right? Randy Orton came out and basically didn't say anything. He asked Cody Rhodes for an explanation. Cody Rhodes gave him the obvious explanation. And here we are, right? So with all that being said, eventually Kevin Owens' music hits. He comes out, but then immediately Solo Sikoa's music hits, which I actually like. I like the new Bloodlines, taking it off. I like that music, right? He comes out and basically Solo cuts a promo. It was a very weird promo. And he basically says, for lack of a better summary, he basically says, look, Cody needs Roman Reigns because the two of you couldn't get it done, right? Now, this is weird because basically Solo Sikoa acknowledges Roman Reigns' greatness, right? And he basically says Roman is better than these two jobbers, so that's why he needs them, right? Now, I get what he was going for. He was obviously going for, like, the idea that, like, Cody Rhodes needs Roman Reigns, and therefore, ipso facto, Randy and Kevin Owens are just jobbers, right? So, like, he's kind of like low-key, hating them. Yeah, thanks for that. I saw how I impersonate Solo's theme. But anyways, let's focus on this. This sets up a tag match, right? The tag match is Solo Sikoa and the Samoan douchebag Jacob Fatu versus Randy and Kevin Owens. At some point, Cody Rhodes says, I want to be in the match. But, of course, it's Friday night. It's free TV. So that means there is absolutely no chance in hell that Cody Rhodes is wrestling. This time, Kevin Owens just says, hey, like, Cody, you need to focus on your tag match at the pay-per-view, right? Let us handle this. So basically, Kevin Owens just robs the crowd of their opportunity to see the world champion wrestle, right? Now, some of you may be thinking, oh, well, he might wrestle in a dark match. I mean, wrestle on TV so they can go tell their friends, I saw this guy, I saw this happen, et cetera, right? So, that happens. That sets up the match, right? Now, when the new Bloodline comes out, in the ring, you have Cucky Rhodes, who, for better or for worse, is the WWE champion. Kevin Owens, who is a former champion, and he's presented as a bigger deal. And Randy Orton, who is obviously above and beyond everybody else that's involved in this feud. Then the new Bloodline just look like jobbers, right? It's like, in what world is Tama Tonga a threat to Randy Orton? You know what I mean? So that was kind of silly, but it was what it was. What can you do, right? Next, we have Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton backstage. Nia basically bullies her, grabs her by the throat. And once again, we've established that Nia Jax is a bully, and we've also reestablished the worst thing ever for Tiffany Stratton, that she is now a lackey. You understand? She's a lackey. So for better or for worse, that's just how that is. She's a lackey, But she's a lackey with the money in the bank, so we all know she's going to cash it in. And that's why this segment just fell flat for me, because Nia Jax should know better than this, right? She should know better than to, be this rude to Tiffany Stratton, who could any moment take her title, But it was what it was. They're doing the lackey storyline. This leads to Bayley versus Naomi. It was a decent match, like all things considered. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter at all, right? None of these girls are going to be the champion. Bayley wins with a top rope elbow, and they show respect to each other afterwards. Next up, we had a segment. LA Knight is talking to Andrade. Andrade says he lost respect for LA Knight. Why? Because LA Knight didn't take his offer for a handshake, Out of nowhere, though, Carmelo Hayes comes and he just plows LA Knight. The angle of the camera and the proximity of the boom mic made this look awesome, right? This just looked like a great destruction. You know what I'm saying? Basically, Carmelo Hayes just plows into LA Knight in the most believable way imaginable, which I really, really liked. You know what I mean? Now, with all that being said, this leads to the sixth match between Carmelo and Andrade. Now, there's a difference between a best-of-7 series, which this was not, right? They retroactively are turning it into one, but it wasn't presented as such. So at the end of the day, we're seeing the same match for the sixth time, And that's unacceptable. You know what I mean? Now, I will say this. My opinion on Carmelo Hayes is changing. I mean, I'm starting to like the kid, if I'm being honest, right? Carmelo Hayes has a lot of good attributes, right? First of all, he seldom botches anything, right? He's got really cool moves. In fact, the worst move that he's got is his finishing move. It just looks stupid. He has so many moves that could be his finisher, right? Including the little suplex into the cutter, right? Which he did twice in this match. And the code breaker, which he does really well as well, because he's very athletic. The only problem is Carmelo Hayes is 5'6", because he's a good-looking guy. He's athletic. He's got a good theme song, dun, 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 dun. It's really cool. But the fact of the matter is that it's exactly that kind of stuff. Now, with all that being said, we have the situation that we need here. Carmelo Hayes puts on a good match as usual. And at the end of the day, I mean, obviously we knew that Carmelo was going to win because it has to get to 7, right? They wouldn't have this match if the series was over. And there's no point in having Andrade win by 2. What would be the point of that? So Carmelo wins. But instead of winning with one of his cool-ass moves, including the what's it called? The suplex into the cutter. He does the suplex thing, the suplex lift into the cutter, which is a great move. Now, I know he can't do that to Obafemi, right? That's a move he can do to people that are small. But nevertheless, it's a cool move. Then Andrade goes to do a Hurricane Rana or a superplex, right? And Carmelo on the top of the turnbuckle, obviously, and Carmelo turns this into the suplex cutter thing, right? Michael Cole is like confused out of his mind. Like, Michael Cole's like, oh, it was a spinning neck breaker. And then Corey Graves is like, it was almost like a cutter. It's like, how about give the move a name and just say it's the avalanche version of that move? It's the move we just saw like a minute ago. But these guys are so bad at their jobs, Corey Graves and Michael Cole, they don't understand what wrestling is. It almost boils my blood because it's like, they don't get it. They don't know the moves. They don't know that what they just saw just happened, right? They're not good at it at all, right? Now, maybe it's possible that, Michael Cole, kind of like understands the, how to like do the job in terms of like having Vince McMahon in his ear. And, he has other intangibles that other people may not have. But nevertheless, he's not good at actually calling the wrestling. And this is especially important when the wrestling is presented as a sport. You can get away with it if it's presented as entertainment, but now we're in the Triple H era, so there you have it, right? The match basically ends when, LA Knight comes with his theme song. I don't know why they played the theme song, right? Because he's just doing a run-in. That's kind of weird, but I think he came out with his theme song. He comes out, and he's chasing Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes gets back in the ring. Andrade's like, what the hell are you doing? And then Carmelo pushes Andrade into LA Knight and rolls him up. So, in other words, all the moves that he did were for naught. All you need to do to Andrade is just roll him up after a push. A fucking cutter from the top rope is not enough for Andrade. But, you do your 2 or 3 moves, and there you have it, right? So, it was what it was. It was enjoyable as a match, as have been the other matches. But the fact that it was predictable made it not that good. So, there you have it, right? Next up, we have a backstage segment with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, as well as Rody Chodes. Rody Chodes comes in, and basically this is just the same segment we've had for several weeks, extended again and again. Now, with all that being said, clearly what's happening here is Kevin Owens is getting frustrated, right? Now, who knows how this is going to play out, and honestly, who cares? Obviously, one of them, if not both, are going to turn on Cookie. I suspect that it's going to be Randy Orton, and that's the swerve. The swerve is like you expect Kevin Owens to turn, but Orton is going to turn. I think that's predictable. Kevin Owens says, Cody, stay out of the match. Kevin Owens leaves. Orton says, if the Tongans come out, like, we need you, Cody, right? So Cody Rhodes doesn't know what to do. Now, again, I have to reiterate. Cody Rhodes is a champion, right? He shouldn't be taking advice or guidance from Kevin Owens, for sure, not from Kevin Owens, who is a mid-card nobody. And Randy Orton, I mean, in my personal opinion, it's been almost a year since his return, and this is one of the worst years of his career. It has been a complete disaster of a year. Like, Randy Orton as a face just does not work. It's really that simple. Randy Orton needs to be a heel. So that needs to be what happens, and I'm pretty sure that is what's going to happen. Now, we continue on, right? The next match is Michin versus Piper Niven, right? The story of the match is that Michin and Chelsea Green are going to have a dumpster match that nobody cares about. So Chelsea Green comes out with like a trash can. Michael Cole keeps talking about how much it stinks, right? Whatever. The match goes on for what it is. It's decent. Michin hits the eat defeat while Piper Niven is like getting back into the ring. So she's like kind of like stuck. You know what I mean? So that's what that was. It wasn't anything, special, right? Now, with all that being said, we continue on here. And we go on to the next segment, if you can call it that. This is essentially a commercial, right? We see a commercial about the ladder match that's going to happen in the next week, right? This is a moment that I want to take to talk about why the thumbnail says mostly commercials, right? The reality is that everything here is a commercial. First of all, as I'm watching this on Hulu Live, so I don't know if you guys watch the same commercials as I did, probably not. I keep seeing that commercial with that Harley Race lookalike Will Ferrell, right? The whole, I want to pay with you everywhere. Like, you can't get away from that commercial no matter what you do. Then every other commercial is for some drug, Wegovy, and like, oh, ask your doctor if like Xantaria is appropriate for your treatment for something, right? And it's like, why do I have to ask my doctor? Shouldn't my doctor already know these things? You know what I mean? It's very weird. Like, they expect you to go and ask your doctor, hey, doctor, I saw a commercial with a bunch of dancing old people saying that, like, if I take it, I'm going to also become a dancing and happy person, right? And the doctor's supposed to be like, oh, yeah, that one. Let me tell you about that one, right? How about the doctor do his job instead, right? Also, all of these, like, medicine commercials. It's a bunch of old people doing like kayaking or climbing mountains, right? Apparently, like you see those like old commercials for herpes. It's like, oh, here's like a herpes cream, right? Or like here's a pill taken twice daily. It reduces herpes inflammations. And then it shows like an old couple climbing a mountain, right? And it's like apparently having herpes gives you like unlimited energy to climb mountains up in this bitch. But anyways, once we get past those commercials, the show starts and we have to see other commercials, right? Not only there was like three commercials, like with Bianca Belair. Like first she's talking to Cardi B. Then she's talking to like fucking Jade Cargill about, first one was about SummerSlam. One was about Bad Blood. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I don't care about this at all. You know, it's just commercials upon commercials. They're like, AJ Styles is coming back. I didn't know he was gone. I know he hasn't been around for a few weeks, but so what? I didn't know that he was like gone. You know what I mean? So like, they're like, oh, AJ Styles is coming back. This is happening next week. This happened last week. It's just a bunch of things that happened or are going to happen. Right? They're like, oh, one day you're going to have fun watching wrestling, but today ain't that day. Today's the day when you're going to be watching commercials about things that you've either seen or things that are going to happen next week. Now, the worst of this was after one specific commercial break, I don't remember which one, obviously, right? They showed us what happened this day. They just showed us what we saw in the opening segment. Now, if you take all the time that the commercials take up and then take up all the time that the commercials within the actual show take up, then you take out other things that are commercial adjacent, like entrance music, right? The first 30 minutes of Smackdown is like commercial free or whatever, right? But what happens first is like Randy Orton comes out. He has like a 4-minute entrance. He literally says 2 sentences. Cody Rhodes, I want an explanation. Please come out here. He comes out. Cody Rhodes has another 3 or 4 minute entrance. And I checked because it was at the 8th minute, right? Where Cody Rhodes got the mic and he started explaining himself, right? Then we have 2 more entrances after that. So it's like out of this first 30 minutes of no commercials, about 15 minutes are entrances. You know, I don't want to see entrances at all, ideally, but what can you do, right? Now, we got to keep going with this. Also, if there's any new people here, subscribe today. You know what I'm saying? The hater's not doing this for no reason. Subscribe. There's a few people here that I don't recognize up in this bitch. Just survive. Just subscribe and survive. Anyways, that pissed me off. Then it's time for the main event. So as it stands here, what did we see today? Nia Jax and Tiffany didn't do anything. They just had a backstage segment. They may not have even been there, right? We saw Bayley versus Naomi. We saw Andrade versus Carmelo for the 6th time, literally, right? We saw Michin versus Piper Niven. And then all of a sudden, it was time for the main event. Now, with all this being said, what is the main event going to do for us? In my opinion, it did absolutely nothing. I was bored out of my mind. You know what I mean? Yeah. And also, by the way, I'm using StreamYard, so like I'm not seeing all these comments, but I will look at them afterwards. So if there's anything like if somebody donated money or anything like that, which obviously you don't have to, like, and I don't acknowledge you, that's why, cucks, because I don't see these comments unless I look at my phone, which I'm not looking at now because I'm using my phone to read the notes that I took of this boring ass episode of Smackdown. Anyways, the main event starts, and obviously it goes without saying that Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa are going to win, right? The entire premise of this match is that the combined forces of Batman and Superman, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, might be enough to beat these 2 bad guys, which means that the Wonder Twins over here, the lower level wrestlers of Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, as they are presented, are not going to be able to overcome the odds, right? Now, we all know they're going to have a good showing because at the end of the day, one of these guys is fucking, Randy Orton. The other one's a jobber, but like it is what it is, right? So with all that being said, what are you going to do, right? Like, you know how the match is going to end, but you're going to watch it anyways because like there might be something that happens. Like one of you said like, oh, I thought Roman Reigns is going to come in, but that's called wishful thinking, brother. That's probably not going to happen. So what happens instead is that we have a situation. We find ourselves in a situation where the match devolves into pure chaos, right? In the middle of this circle jerk, Cody Rhodes comes out to help, right? The match essentially ends with Fatu grabbing Cody and throwing him onto the ref. Meanwhile, in the ring, Owens had hit a stunner on Solo, right? And he was about to pin him. Clean, by the way, right? And then Cody Rhodes basically gets in the way and ruins it. And that's basically how the match ends, because Jacob Fatu gets back in the ring as the referee's distracted by Cody, and as the referee's still getting up. And then eventually, fucking, what's it called? Jacob Fatu comes in, does 2 super kicks to Kevin Owens, right? Which, as we all know, is part of the coveted and very important Samoan moveset. And that's that. That's the beginning, and that's the end of that. Solo Sikoa just crawls onto him, and then they win, right? And then Kevin Owens is justifiably upset. And this was obvious, right? Because Randy Orton said, come out. Kevin Owens said, don't. Cody came out, right? But I suspect this is just going to be like a situation where, like, Kevin Owens is also going to be surprised that Randy Orton turns on Cody, right? The only people that aren't going to be surprised are people that are smart. And the reality is what the reality is. You have Randy Orton there. Basically, he's just there to sell T-shirts, you know? It says RKO, and there's a snake on it. And now Kevin Owens wears the shirt too because he's part of, like, whatever, the team of RKO, I guess, right? Because, get it? The initials RKO have KO in them, which is Kevin Owens, and there you have it. So, with that being said, this has been your Smackdown review. Hater live, motherfucks. Hater live. Now, the fact that we're live changes a few things. Normally, this is where I would tell all y'all to go fuck your mothers. But now, there's about 108 of you, it says here on StreamYard, that are watching. And I'll be looking at my phone to see if any of you fucks have any questions or anything that you want to discuss. I'm not going to scroll back up in this bitch and look at these things. But if you have any questions, throw them on here. Now would be the time. Go F yourselves. Cucky sucks. Go F yourselves. I agree, Kaya David. You know what I mean? It is what it is. What can you do about that up in this piece? Someone said thank you. What, to me? You're welcome, bro. I don't even know what the hell you talking about up in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? But I do appreciate that, Jerry. What is that? A picture of Seinfeld? Anyways, keep beefing with Work Rate Productions. I have no interest in beefing with these guys. You know what I mean? Like, I don't dislike them on a personal level. Basically, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, because now it's like we're having a conversation. You know, what is it that Cody Rhodes says? Like, what do you want to talk about? It's like that, right? That's what I'm doing right now. So the reality is that Work Rate Productions and I just, you know, we got off on the wrong foot, basically, right? I don't want to beef with anybody because I don't have the energy for that because I'm a grown man. But the reality is this. They came after me when I was small, and now that I'm going to surpass them in the next month or so, right? They got nothing to come after me for. I mentioned them a few videos ago because that other the guy, the booty guy, I don't even know his name is, the booty guy, that guy came after me too. So I was like, oh, he came after me just like Technical Work Rate did, right? That's the extent to which I care about these guys, right? I care about them because they came after me for no reason. And the hater, being that as a child, I was both bullied and I was a bully, right, at different phases of my life. I don't like bullies. You know, I've learned my lessons. So when people do that, like, my instinct is to just smash them in the head. But obviously, you know, we don't live in medieval times. So now I have to do that verbally, right? So with all that being said, I got nothing to you know, beef with them for. But that's where we find ourselves. Now, let's see. There were some other questions. I got to go back up here. Let's see here. Who keep beefing? Okay, is Roman Reigns garbage? He's not garbage. Roman Reigns is definitely a star, but, like, quite frankly, the fact is he doesn't show up to work. But now this is becoming more and more acceptable because people like, you know, Cucky Rhodes obviously doesn't show up to work. Gunther hasn't had a match in like 5 months. So there you have it, right? No good managers except for Heyman. Yeah, that's true. There's no managers at all, actually. That's actually a good point. Get into a boxing match with Booty Hunter. I don't know Booty Hunter, but the hater boxed in college at a pretty decent level. So the hater can definitely hold his own in a boxing match. You know what I'm saying? The hater's actually been in a ring many times, and I've taught people how to box. So I'm not that dude. You know what I'm saying? Psst, if you ever need help setting up a Discord, I'm your guy. Dynamo. Oh, thanks, Dynamo Links. I do need help with that, actually. Maybe you can, like, hit me up on Instagram or something, you know, because I don't know how to contact you after this. MK says, hater, you're a jobber. You sound familiar, MK. You sound like a fan of those other people. So, you know, I don't care what you say. What do you think of them apples? Thoughts on Cucky Rhodes possibly losing in his home city? That would be great. That would be a great idea. Hater, whose product do you think is superior, WWE or AEW? And whose would you rather watch? That's a good question, man. To be honest, like, I watched the last episode of Dynamite and I was not entertained. Like, I can't get behind, like, people like Darby. Like, the problem with AEW is that, like, for the fact that WWE wrestlers are jobbers, AEW wrestlers are even bigger jobbers, right? Like, there's stirrings. I've mentioned this before. There's stirrings that, like, Daniel Garcia might get signed to WWE, and it's like that would represent a new low. Daniel Garcia has nothing going for him. Nothing. He's like worse than Obafemi because at least Obafemi's big and strong. Daniel Garcia has nothing. He's not good looking. He's not in good shape. He doesn't have good moves. He's not entertaining. He's not charismatic. He's got nothing going for him. So, that's what I associate with AEW. AEW is also they have potential, right? Like obviously Luchasaurus, I think, could be a massive star if he becomes serious. Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, to a certain extent, like that Kyle Fletcher guy. Like there's people that have some presence, right? But the fact of the matter is they don't use them correctly, in my opinion. So I don't know. Humble85 says, who is a girl. We don't have many female fans here, so that's kind of nice in the sense that because if I look at my analytics, it's like 99.999% dudes. So that's interesting. Why is the booking on SmackDown so repetitive? Because nobody shows up to work. So it's you have at the end of the day, we got to give some props to Carmelo, Hayes, and Andrade for wrestling 6 weeks straight, basically, or 6 out of the last 8 weeks or whatever, right? Nobody else wants to wrestle. So what are they going to do? Do you think Ted DiBiase Jr. should get freed so he can be reunited with Cody and Randy? I think that'd be legendary. No, I don't think so. I mean, I need to see what the hell how his criminal trial plays out, because if he's innocent, of course, he'll be freed. But from what I understand, he's accused. He's been indicted on charges for defrauding charities, and that's pretty fucked up. AJ should be on Raw. Yeah, I thought he was, honestly. The SmackDown thing caught me off guard. I thought he was. What's the best Final Fantasy? Final Fantasy 9. It goes without saying. Final Fantasy 9 is the greatest video game ever made. Are WWE that lazy to give Cuckin Owens another shirt for him? What shirt? The RKO shirt? I guess. In order to fix WWE, to have wrestlers show up daily, part-timers are ruining it. There is some truth to that. AJ has always been a SmackDown guy. Thoughts on Cena calling Roman the GOAT? Yeah, Cena's saying that because, look, the John Cena's of the world, the person, basically the last star has to put over the current star. The same way that Roman Reigns is going to say that he's going to say Braun Breaker's the GOAT, we're going to do that. That's how it happens. Is Roman Reigns overrated? Some say he's the GOAT. Roman Reigns is definitely overrated because a lot of his success is predicated upon his legendary title reign, right? Otherwise, there's other things that make wrestlers awesome, right? So, for example, if you look at The Rock, Roman Reigns is this is the best answer, right? If you look at The Rock and Roman Reigns, it's not even close, right? Roman Reigns looks like a star next to Cucky Rhodes and next to Nathan Frazier, but The Rock is a different level. The Rock is 100 times more charismatic. The Rock is 100 times more entertaining, and the hater has always been under the philosophy that that in wrestling, the most important element is entertainment, right? And therefore, the most important metric is how much money do you draw? And the fact of the matter is, while Roman Reigns is a big draw compared to fucking Scripts and Bronco Nima and the other guy, he is not a big draw compared to Stone Cold, The Rock, or even Mark Henry in the 90s. He's not a big draw. He's just not a big draw. The Rock draws more money, and therefore he's better. Wrestling's not a real sport. Right? Now, in addition to that, you can make an argument, for example, some people say that Shawn Michaels or Kurt Angle are the best ever, right? And that's predicated on a mixture of charisma, being a draw, and being good in the ring. I would argue that Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle both are better than Roman Reigns at every metric, right? At least Shawn Michaels is, because Shawn Michaels is also a good-looking guy, and so is Roman Reigns. Kurt Angle, definitely not an ugly guy, but he's not, he's not presented as such, right? So that's what I got to say about that. Now, the comments are coming in a bit faster than I can read them, so we're going to have to skip some. I'm sorry. But not Dynamo. I'm sure if this was seen, but if you need help setting up a Discord, I can help. It was seen, and it was answered, bro. What's your favorite match of all time? I don't know. The match that I always like to watch is Christian versus Jericho at WrestleMania. There's that one elimination. There's two matches. I really like elimination matches. There's Elimination Chamber, the one where Edge takes Kofi Kingston's spot. But I like that match in the context of that pay-per-view, right? That match is good because the first match, Edge loses one world title, then wins the other one in the end. So that's a context-driven match. The bragging rights match that I've mentioned before. 3 Stages of Hell, I really enjoyed. Batista versus Undertaker at I think it was No Mercy, some pay-per-view. I was there. It was one of the ones that I saw live. I really like Zach Gowen and Stephanie McMahon versus Big Show. That's one of my favorite moments of all time. Vince McMahon versus Stephanie in an I Quit match. That was pretty cool. there's a lot of matches that like are like that. My favorite wrestling match, like in terms of like the actual wrestling that happens, would have to be Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Christopher Daniels at Destination X. I think that's like the ideal match personally, right? Where do you see WWE in 3 years? On Netflix, but it's not going to be good. Kadaria says, another live, surprising. Yeah, it came out of nowhere, bro. What are you going to do, right? Tag is Dynamolining. So you're going to have to, I'm going to have to figure out how to message you, bro. Put the title on Logan Paul or Dominic. Yeah, I think that's probably a better idea, to be completely honest. Why wasn't Nia smart enough to know that Tiffy time is going to turn on her? Yeah, I don't know. They're going to have to answer that somehow. Like, you know what I mean? They can't present Nia Jax being like, oh, I didn't realize Tiffany Stratton was going to turn on me. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean you didn't realize it? She has the money in the bank. Like, everyone realized it. Anyways, they should have like another wrestler be like, hey, she's going to turn on you, right? But whatever. How to be more charismatic if we have none? Everyone has some level of charisma. I believe that people that quote unquote don't have charisma, they have to be in the right situation. That's my suggestion. Braun should be and will be, in my opinion, heavyweight champion. Big Neff. Keep doing lives. I think I will, Brandon. I think this is a good thing because like this thing has been going on for 30 minutes, which is honestly probably saving me some time because like I'd have to go outside, smoke some cigarettes, do the review, then upload it, which doesn't take time, like active time. But like, for example, after this, I'm going to take a shower and get some food, right? But like if I'm waiting for the video to upload, that I have to just wait, right? So thoughts on heel Cody Rhodes. We have to see what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? We have to see what's going to happen. When should Cody drop the title? ASAP. I'm going, says Rhea Shin. We need a hater Discord ASAP. What's the benefit of Discord? Someone explain in the comments what the benefit of Discord is. You know what I mean? If you make a Discord, my tag. Oh, your tag on Discord. Got it. I miss when WWE had stars. Triple H should put the belt on Bronson Reed in 2025. At this point, yeah, I have to agree. Know your role and shut your mouth, MK. Days 77 Gaming is one of the funniest people on the internet, as far as I'm concerned, man. Word, same booking. Nah, they're gonna have someone save Cody Rhodes for the 10th time. Yeah, probably. Cody as a heel might actually work. Yeah, exactly. Kaya David, another intelligent individual. He's not naturally likable, right? That's a good point. He's not naturally likable. He has to kiss babies, shake hands, and sniff the fans' seats to get over. Exactly. Cody Rhodes has to go be the best man of a stranger in order for him to get any kind of reaction, right? He's not naturally likable. That's a great point. That's going to be the inception of a new video. Cody Rhodes is not charismatic enough to be naturally likable. And as such, Cody Rhodes is not going to be someone that gets over organically. So as a heel, he just fits better. Randy Orton is like that too. Like, I firmly posit that there are some people that generally have the face of good. I don't know if Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton are good or bad people, but if I had to bet my life on it, I would bet that they're not very pleasant people, right? Like versus if someone said, who do you think is a better person? Like Randy Orton or Kofi Kingston? I'd say Kofi Kingston. He has the face of a good person, right? He has the face of he's always smiling and happy and shit like that. Like I get the sense that he's a good guy, right? Nathan Frazier, I get the sense he's a good guy, right? I don't get the same sense from fucking Triple H, right? Or even like Christian Cage. I see them as like dudes, but they don't seem like nice guys, right? So, most people should be naturally heels, and a lot of them are. Christian, Triple H, Randy Orton, they're much better as heels, right? Let's see here. Thoughts on Khan, on Tony Khan. He doesn't know what he's doing, but I mean, I don't think he cares. It's not like I don't think he cares about losing money. He's doing this for his own benefit, for his own pleasure. And I think that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, do what you want. Hey, if you have money, do whatever the fuck you want. That's what I always say. NXT is better than AEW. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really watch NXT anymore. I should, because now they have TNA guys, but we'll see. Okay, that's a response to Big Niff. A moth lover. Okay, what car does a hater drive? Looking to buy a car and need some advice. The hater used to always drive Jeep Wranglers. That's what I'd go for. Now the hater has more of like a family-ish car. So, who the hell is Daniel Garcia? Some jobber. You know what I'm saying? Big Neff says, you trolling. Wayne, hater. I love you like a brother. You're all right with me. Thanks, Wayne. Appreciate you, man. NXT promos, lit. PWC fan page says, yeah, if he stops wearing that dino mask. Exactly. He needs to stop wearing the dino mask. You know what I mean? Thoughts on Wade Barrett possibly returning to the ring. I don't want to see it. I don't care. Someone gave me $5. Dragon. Wow, what a cool name. Just straight up Dragon. You know what I'm saying? In your opinion, all right, Dragon, I will get to your question now because you paid, and I would be a douchebag if I didn't stop answering whatever I was answering to answer you. So, if anyone else wants to pay, your question will get priority. And, obviously I'm going to stop reading these questions at some point because the hater has to go get some food. But anyways, Dragon asks, in your opinion, why is Roman Reigns used so sporadically now? Have a good night, hater. I don't always agree with you, but I always respected you. Thanks, man. What a kind message. You know what I mean? That's the second, well, someone else donated money too, but this is the second kindness that the hater has gotten from his fans today. I really appreciate that. It's a very human message, right? And then someone else gave me $10 earlier to buy a pack of cigarettes, which I actually did. I was going to put it up on Instagram. I think I will. Anyways, also follow the hater on Instagram. I think you just go there, you write the hater, and it should appear. You know what I'm saying? Roman Reigns is used sporadically now because he's a special attraction. But the problem with being a special attraction, of course, is that, being a special attraction means that to be a special attraction, you have to be used sporadically, right? Now, the problem is this works sometimes, but now that Roman Reigns is making a return, it just doesn't work, right? It doesn't feel like it's the correct way to do it. Like, it feels more like Roman Reigns should be there all the time because he's presumably driven by revenge and he's trying to get back his title, which he hasn't even made a play at that yet, right? He's trying to get back the pepper necklace. He's trying to do these things, but they're not working out for his bitch ass. So with that being said, it's like, what can we do? You know what I'm saying? Roman Reigns is being used sporadically because they really think that he's like a Brock Lesnar level star and he just isn't, So that's my opinion, which is what you asked for. All right, cool. Now that message has been read, I've lost track. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit and try to find out. All right, whatever. I'll start here. Darius Rusin says, hey, who do you think is a greater career, Brett or Brock Lesnar? Brock Lesnar, of course. Yeah, it's not even close, man. What are you talking about? Brock Lesnar has one of the most successful WWE careers of all time. Bret Hart is still pissed off that he got screwed in a fake sport. How lame is that, by the way? Bret Hart's like, oh, they betrayed me. Shut the fuck up. It's not real, bro. They betrayed me. What are they supposed to do? This guy's so stupid. I think Bret Hart's a dummy. He's so dumb that he thinks that WWE should be okay with Bret Hart losing clean or maybe not even losing and then going to WCW the next day. This isn't a real sport, you dumb fuck. It's a business. Of course you're going to get screwed. Of course you're going to get screwed. You're going to get, Bret Hart should have been buried, just like Jeff Jarrett got buried by China. That's what happens. You go out on your back, son. I share the same birthday as The Rock, which I believe is May 2nd, but I could be wrong. Because I remember one time The Rock was like, The Rock's birthday is May 2nd, you jabroni. The Rock's daughter, Ava, is doing a good job of being the GM on NXT, and I think she surpassed every other GM on TV. Yeah, sure. I believe it. Now, the hater is about to bounce, so unless anyone has any burning questions, this would be the time to throw those burning questions towards your boy. That's right. Brett screwed Brett up in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to lose in Canada. He doesn't want to lose in Canada. So what? You heard that Vince... Yeah. That's so ridiculous. Yeah. Brett was like, they killed Owen to get back at me. That's what I said. I mentioned this in another video, Humble. There's a part where Bret Hart, I think he's just very stupid because it's you're right. That's what happened. They killed your innocent brother via an elaborate dropping mechanism on live TV, right? Jeopardizing their pay-per-view, right? Opening themselves up to a murder investigation, just to spite Bret Hart, who honestly wasn't that big of a deal, right? They replaced him with The Rock and Stone Cold, and nobody gives a shit about Bret Hart. Bret Hart is just known as the guy that had a match with Stone Cold. Nobody really knows anything about Bret Hart. Oh, Stampede Wrestling. Nobody watched that shit. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah. All right, guys. Before this video gets a little bit too absurd, thank you for the donations today. In this video and earlier. The hater appreciates it. But as you know, the hater doesn't do it for the money. Of course, the hater will never say no to money because the hater is, in his real life, all about the loot, motherfuckers. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I hope that this live stream was a good idea, and we're going to do it again. Except this is now 40 minutes, and we're not going to do that. We're going to do just a SmackDown review, and maybe I'll read a few comments at the end or something, right? We'll see. We'll see how it goes, right? Who knows? Yep. With that being said, cucks, take care. See you later, Brandon the Jobber. I thought I said Brandon the Jabber. I'm like, the fuck? What? Because I thought I said Brandon the Jabber, and I'm like, just become Brandon the Jobber. It's a much better name, but it looks like you thought that through. See you, Kadarius. See you, Humble. See a Necro Wolf, Josh Johnson up in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all of y'all, man. And actually, I'm gonna say one quick thing, and that's this: I do appreciate every one of you. I really do. You know, it's a testament to like what a little bit of desire can do. Right? Look at me, motherfucks. I'm here talking to like 100 people live. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not something that I ever thought would happen when I started the Hater channel, right? The Hater wants everyone to follow their dreams. The Hater is all about that kind of stuff. I am going to do more streams like this, and I really do appreciate everyone here. And as you can see, the Haters fans come from all walks of life. We got everybody in here. We got dudes, we got broads, we got whites, we got blacks, we got Hispanics. We probably got a few Asians. I know we got some Saudis, some Indians, South Africans. We got them all here in the Hater. You know what I'm saying? We got them all because this is a real community of real people. And I never wanted it to be that. I never wanted it to be a community, right? But it has become one, despite what I want. People are here talking about other things. Someone just mentioned that someone else is from Jamaica. Like 2 Jamaicans have bonded over the Haters channels. So with that being said, I'm not black, I identify as purple. That's good for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. But anyways, take care, guys, and have a good night. Peace.